Patterson Clarence Hughes was born on the 19th of September 1917, coming from the Cooma district of New South Wales. He joined the Royal Australian Air Force as a cadet in 1936. After graduating as a pilot, he chose to take a commission with the RAF. In July 1937, he was assigned to No. 64 Squadron, which operated Hawker Demon and later Bristol Blenheim fighters. Posted to No. 234 Squadron following the outbreak of war, Pat began flying Supermarine Spitfires as a flight commander. He shared in his unit's first aerial victory on the 8th of July 1940 and began scoring heavily against the Luftwaffe the following month. He was known for his practice of attacking his targets at extremely close range. It was in the summer of 1940. The fate of an entire nation hinged on the outcome of a battle that would be fought in the skies by Pat Hughes and many other Royal Air Force pilots against the formidable German Luftwaffe. The Battle of Britain, officially recognized as being from the 10th of July until the 31st of October 1940, would become a defining moment in World War II. The Battle of Britain began in earnest following the fall of France in June 1940. The Germans, victorious on the continent, turned their gaze across the English Channel. The British Isles were now squarely in the crosshairs of Nazi aggression. Leading the defence of Britain was Air Chief Marshal Sir Hugh Dowding, and on the German side was Field Marshal Hermann Göring, the commander of the Luftwaffe. Göring was tasked with the mission of achieving air superiority over Britain to pave the way for a full-scale invasion. He was confident, perhaps overly so, in the abilities of his air force. The backbone of the British air defence was the Supermarine Spitfire and the Hawker Hurricane, and would become the unsung heroes of the conflict. They were the embodiment of Britain's resilience. Winston Churchill delivered rousing speeches that galvanised the nation.
The gratitude of every home in our island, in our empire, and indeed throughout the world, except in the abodes of the guilty, goes out to the British airmen who, undaunted by odds, unwearied in their constant challenge and mortal danger, are turning the tide of the world war by their prowess and by their devotion. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few.
Day after day and night after night, the skies over southern England became a battleground, with intense air-to-air engagement between the RAF and the Luftwaffe. On the ground, British civilians endured the Blitz, as cities such as London and Coventry suffered heavy bombardment. Yet many displayed remarkable resilience and courage, often working tirelessly to aid the injured and support the war effort. On the 15th of September, two massive waves of German attacks were decisively repulsed by the RAF by deploying every aircraft in 11 group. 60 German and 26 RAF aircraft were shot down. The action was the climax of the Battle of Britain and is remembered today as Battle of Britain Day. By mid-September, Fighter Command had demonstrated that the Luftwaffe could not gain air ascendancy over Britain. British fighters were shooting down German bombers faster than German industry could produce them. To avoid the deadly RAF fighters, the Luftwaffe shifted almost entirely to night raids on Britain's industrial centres. The turning point in the Battle of Britain came in September 1940, when the Luftwaffe shifted its focus from attacking RAF airfields to bombing London. This shift allowed the RAF crucial time to regroup, repair their aircraft, and replenish their ranks. It was in this context that Australian Pat Hughes was defending Britain against the Luftwaffe onslaught. Pat was killed in action flying his Spitfire X4009 on the evening of the 7th of September 1940, after he had intercepted a Dornier 17 bomber taking part in a large-scale attack on London. His Spitfire crashed in a field between Sundridge and Bessells Green in Kent. He apparently bailed out, but his parachute failed to open. His body was found in a garden on Main Road, Sundridge, not far from the wreck of his Spitfire, which was found at Darks Farm, Bessells Green, west of Sevenoaks. The Dornier came down in the River Darrant. No. 234 Squadron lost its commanding officer, squadron leader Joseph O'Brien in the same action. Pat Hughes was posthumously awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross and was buried in England. He had claimed 17 victories, 3 of them shared, which puts him by far and away our most successful Battle of Britain ace and 3rd overall for the Second World War. 25 Australians were considered eligible for the Battle of Britain clasp to the 1939 45 star. Others flew with RAF Bomber Command and Coastal Command. The total number involved in the battle was approximately 35. The remains of Pat Hughes aircraft, number X4009, have been unearthed in the United Kingdom. Ross and Anne-Marie Pay of Vintage Fighter Restorations, a division of Pay's Air Service located at Scone, New South Wales, Australia, secured the ownership of the wreckage and identity of the Spitfire from excavations of its crash site in the UK. The aircraft's remains were donated by Ross and Anne-Marie to Hunter Fighter Collection Incorporated, an Australian not-for-profit organisation. The aircraft is currently in the process of being restored to airworthy status. Initial restoration work has commenced at airframe assemblies on the Isle of Wight in England, with a grant of $150,000 awarded to Hunter Fighter Collection by the Australian government under the Saluting Their Service Commemorative Grants Programme. Following this initial work, the restoration of the aircraft will be undertaken to airworthy status at Scone, New South Wales, by Vintage Fighter Restorations, who are leaders in Spitfire aircraft restoration in Australia. The completed aircraft will reside at Scone and will be operated as a perpetual flying memorial to Patterson Clarence Hughes, DFC.